Hello everybody, this is TheXseption, and welcome to my Week 3 team builder for the NPA Season 3. This week, myself and the Tampa Bay Luxrays will be taking on Goffies Enigma and the Hampshire Hunters. Now, down below you'll see his team. He's got Volcanion, Delmise, Crobat, Miltank, Aromatisse, Piloswine, Manaphy, Mienshao, Durant, Meowstic, and Emolga. And of those Pokemon, I am expecting him to bring Volcanion and or Manaphy. I think he has to bring Delmise. I think Crobat will be there. Miltank may or may not be there. I think it's pretty good against me. It's a good special defensive wall. Gets rocks. Has good coverage moves. I think it'll be there. But wouldn't surprise me if Piloswine came instead, I guess. Although I don't think Piloswine is as effective. Aromatisse, I kind of think might be there. I think it can do well against me if he can go ahead and take out some of my strong physical attackers, and then he could try to sweep with it at the end of the match or something. Aromatisse also, I guess, just for Heal Bell or Aromatherapy, maybe to Wish Pass, I don't know. But I think I can deal with Aromatisse pretty well, and I don't think it's going to be a huge problem versus me, as long as I can keep some of my win conditions intact, such as some of my stronger physical attackers. So Piloswine, like I said, I don't think it'll be there unless Miltank isn't. And, yeah, that's about it. Manaphy, I think it could or could not be there, either with or without Volcanion. But I think Volcanion or Manaphy has to come, and I'm prepared for both. Mienshao, I think Mienshao will be there. I'm not sure what set it'll be running. When I was doing some test battles with my assistant coach, he ran both Reckless High Jump Kick and then a Regenerator set in a few test battles. So I'm not sure which set Goffies is going to want to bring. I think the Reckless High Jump Kick is a little more high risk, high reward kind of thing. And if he feels that he needs to do that versus me, he can. But I think I'm prepared well for that set. And if he wants to bring the Regenerator set, I think I'm also prepared for that. And I think that's more likely, probably the better option, just because he won't get stuck in bad positions where, he's at low health, there's rocks on the field, where if he switched out, he wouldn't get his health back, and then he would just die if he switched back in. So I think a Regenerator is more likely. He also gets Switch Initiative if he is running U-Turn on it, so I think Regenerator is just the more likely set there, and I do think it'll be there. Durant, I think, could be there. I played against Goffies in Season 2 of the NPA, and he brought Durant that time, and Durant caught me off guard and killed Megaladios because I was not expecting the crunch, which I should have been. But I think that sealed up the match for me last time when I played him. I don't remember quite too much, but that moment when Durant crunched my Megaladios, I knew I was in trouble. I remember that very well, and I am not going to let that happen again. Durant, I will never sleep on it again. I am prepared, hopefully, this match. And I will be very relieved if it doesn't come. Meowstic, I don't think Meowstic will be there in the least. But if it does come, it will have dual screens, most likely. And I can deal with that just fine. Emolga, I don't think Emolga is going to be there. I really don't know what it can do for me, do against me. I think I can knock it out pretty quickly with most of my Pokemon. And if he brings it, I'm going to be kind of worried because I'm not all too prepared for Emolga. I hope it doesn't catch me off guard too much. I think I can deal with it, but Emolga could be a surprising mon if it comes. But anyways, let's go ahead and hop into my team this week and talk about what I am bringing to counter these Pokemon. The first Pokemon I'm bringing is going to be Araquanid, and I am hoping to make this set right here Heat of the Week. So take note, analysts. We got Aqua Ring, Stockpile, Liquidation, and Toxic. Now, in my first few test matches that I did, when Araquanid got set up, it took out 3 to 4 Pokemon. So it's very hard to take out for Goffies' team. He does have a lot of coverage moves on his team that can deal with it, but at +3, there's really not all that much. I mean, Volcanion can pretty much just Toxic me. Hidden Power Grass isn't going to do anything. Delmise has grass moves, but they're still not going to do all that much, especially when I'm healing up 12.5% each turn. Crobat is the same thing, and at the same time, Araquanid, the only thing Araquanid doesn't like 2 or 3 hit KO is going to be Manaphy or Volcanion. Volcanion, obviously, because it gets Water Absorb, and I have to Toxic and wait it out. And then Manaphy, because it takes like 4 or 5 hits to kill with a Liquidation, but at the same time, Manaphy can't do anything back to me except for Energy Ball. And the only way Energy Ball is going to do enough damage to really scare me is if he gets to +6. And I also have a way to deal with that. So overall, his team does not deal with Arachnid very well once it gets set up. Before it gets set up, he deals with it just fine. But the plan is basically to switch it in on like an Aromatisse or a Miltank, because neither of them do that much damage to Arachnid. Now, of course, Miltank is a physical attacker, and Arachnid doesn't have much physical defense, but it still doesn't take too much damage from a Body Slam. A Thunder Punch, I believe, does like 25%, which isn't too much in the grand scheme of things, so I think I can deal with it. So if I can go in, I can get up a stockpile while he switches out into like a Volcanion or a Manaphy, and then at that point I'll be at +1, and then he'll realize, oh no, I don't have anything for setup Arachnid on these Pokemon. He'll have to switch into a different Pokemon such as Crobat, and at that point I'll have 2 stockpiles up. And that's kind of the plan. And if he wants to stay in with Manaphy and try to like outwall me, maybe he has like a Calm Mind Manaphy set and he just tries to like boost himself up to take me out with Energy Ball or something, Arachnid still kills that before Manaphy can do very much. So I think we got something good here. I think we got a potential sweeper, and I'm not sure if I'm going to bring this in at the beginning of the match or the end or the middle. I'm just going to kind of bring it in whenever it feels natural and try to get some kills with it. That's the plan. And then once I throw him off, once he has, you know, 2 or 3 Pokemon left, I can go ahead and clean up with the Pokemon I have left. So that is Arachnid. Let's go ahead and hop into our second Pokemon for the week. And we've got Latias. My mouse is frozen, but there it is. Latias. So we are running Z-Reflect, Wish, Protect, and Thunderbolt. So Z-Reflect boosts your defense by 1 stage and sets up the Reflect. The reason I'm doing this is because he has a lot of good physical attackers. Number 1. Alright, it will help out Arachnid. So if I were to lead with Latias, I could set up Reflect, imagining Miltank comes in, and then I could send in Arachnid and not be scared that, you know, a Z Thunder Punch is coming to, you know, do 50% or more to Arachnid. So that's kind of the thought there, is that I can reduce the amount of physical damage Arachnid takes before it gets to set up. Alright, and then I can set up Arachnid and everything is good. If I Z-Reflect, though, I can even take on Crobat and Durant with this Latias. Latias, I believe, 2-shots both of them with Thunderbolt. And I believe Durant does 51% max with a Crunch or an X-Scissor. So, I mean, it's still something to worry about, but most likely Latias can take 2 and still survive if the Reflect is up and if it has +1 defense. In that case, it could go ahead and take out Durant, no problem. And we are running Wish and Protect because some of the defensive walls I'm going to be using this week don't have their own forms of self-recovery, so I'm going to need to Wish Pass into them. And that's the thought there. In my test matches, I wasn't really able to do that. Most of the time, my defensive walls either went down before I was able to, or Latias went down before I was able to. And I'm running Protect there. Protect is for the Wish, of course, so that when I Wish up, I can make sure that Latias gets it back. But it's also to Scout, because I kind of want to know what he's running on his Pokemon. He could run some crazy sets, and I just need to make sure that I can handle them just fine. So I'm going to be scouting a lot of his moves and trying to figure out what he has. And the reason for that is I think I can get a better edge in this match figuring out what he has rather than by playing very offensively with coverage moves and you know, trying to hit him as hard as I can. I think figuring out what he has is more important this match than just trying to do little bits of chip damage here and there. So that's the plan with Latias. Let's go on and move into our third Pokemon, where we have Porygon Z. So Porygon Z is one of my surprising Pokemon from this draft. I didn't expect it to be doing so much work, but it works out so far. It has worked out every week, where it has a set that works. Week 1, it was Nasty Plot, and Adrenaline Orb was the hope and dream, but that died very quickly. Last week we had Trick Choice Scarf. This week we have a Trick Choice Scarf set. Unfortunately, it just happened to work out that Trick and Choice Scarf works for 2 matches in a row. I'm not going to be running the same set all the time, so I don't want people thinking that they know me and what's going on in my head, because they don't. I got Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, and Hidden Power Fire. Thunderbolt, of course. His team does not have any electric immunities, so I can freely just use electric moves whenever and wherever I want. And it's going to do a lot of damage. I believe his only resistance is Delmise, if I'm correct, which means that it's going to hit everything pretty hard. I got Shadow Ball there for the Delmise, and I guess for the Meowstic, but that should do a lot of damage to either of those Pokemon. And then I got the Hidden Power Fire, which I believe OHKOs the Durant, and with the Choice Scarf I can outspeed Durant and Crobat. I'm faster than every Pokemon on his team, so hopefully I could go ahead and take out that Crobat with a Thunderbolt and the Choice Scarf. The Trick Choice Scarf is for the Manaphy, by the way. So remember how I said he doesn't have a lot to deal with Araquanid? Well, there is one Manaphy set that causes problems for everything and not just Araquanid, and that set is going to be the Tail Glow set. Tail Glow Manaphy is a pain. Basically, a +6 energy ball to Araquanid, even at +3, is still going to do about 50% damage. So that's a lot, and I don't want to take that. So the plan is going to be to trick on the Choice Scarf, because I don't think he's going to want to switch out Manaphy at +3 or at +6. He's going to want to stay in. And I think because of that, we will be able to trick the Choice Scarf onto it. Then he'll be stuck going for a move. And that move will probably kill Porygon Z. Porygon Z will probably die to it. But if it's a Scald, we can go ahead and switch into Araquanid, start setting up. If it is an Ice Beam, we can go into Araquanid, start setting up. And if it's an Energy Ball, we can go into Latias and, you know, just wait it out. We can hit it with some Thunderbolts, do whatever we need to do. But Manaphy will be disabled at that point, and that's the hope and dream there. So that's Porygon Z and what I'm hoping to do with it. Let's go ahead and move into our fourth Pokemon, which is going to be Absol. So Absol's coming back, and like I said, you need to be prepared for it every week if you're playing me, because it's going to be there a lot of the weeks. It might not be there every week. I definitely do not want to bring every Pokemon every week or one Pokemon every week, just because then people really think they can plan for it and they think they got it down. They think they know, but they don't know. I don't want them to know. So I'm bringing Absol. It's got Justified again. We got Sucker Punch, Superpower, Thunderbolt, and Iron Tail. So 3 Thunderbolts on this team, just like we had 3 Ice Beams last week. Ice hits Specs very hard, and Thunder hits Goffies pretty hard. So that's the plan. Superpower, obviously, for that Miltank, that Piloswine, for a few different things down there. Superpower even hurts Volcanion quite a bit, you know, even though it's resisted. So I think we're pretty good there. Thunderbolt, of course, for the water types in Manaphy and Volcanion. We got the Iron Tail there for Aromatisse, obviously. Sucker Punch for priority because it hits everything kind of hard. And obviously we don't want to take any damage if we can avoid it. Now, the Iron Tail actually does more to Delmise than the Sucker Punch. I did some calcs on this when I was doing my test matches, and if it's between like 34 to 41% health, Iron Tail can actually kill Delmise, and Sucker Punch will not. I believe it has to be under 30% for Sucker Punch to kill. I don't have the calcs in front of me. This is just off the top of my head, so I could be wrong. But it's still interesting. Now, I'm not sure if I would risk it at that point. I'm not sure if I would risk it and go for the Iron Tail, because Iron Tail does have a big miss chance. I believe it's only 75% accurate. I'm going to try not to be salty if I miss, but, you know, that's the way it goes if you run less accurate moves. It just happens to hit Aromatisse pretty hard, and that's nice. But I really should not be leaving this in on Aromatisse anyway. I should switch into Araquanid if given the chance. And, you know, if I'm in on Delmise, I should probably switch there too. So we'll see how it works. If something's on low health and we can kill it, maybe we'll risk it for the biscuit. Who knows? But let's go ahead and move on. And we've got... Wait, no, we've already gone to Porygon Z. We've got Ferrothorn here. So Ferrothorn, our first big defensive wall this week. And I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be doing great things for us. We've got Protect, Stealth Rock, Leech Seed, and Knockoff. So I'm running 3 Protects this week. This is only the second one. And that, like I said, is to scout moves. And if he's running that Reckless High Jump Kick Mienshao set, he's going to be in for a surprise when it misses and he takes 50% damage. That's the dream. we've also got Stealth Rock, so we're going to set up Stealth Rocks if we can. We just want to get some little bits of chip damage here and there, although it's really not that necessary to have Stealth Rocks up. I think we can beat them without them. Leech Seed is if we predict a switch in, maybe to, I don't know why we predict a switch into Manaphy, but just to get a little bit of health back. You know, if we're predicting a switch, we've already got rocks up, and we just need a little something extra. Maybe our health is just a little tad below half. We can throw out a Leech Seed, try to get, you know, a 1/16 of our health back. We got Knockoff in case we're predicting a switch as well. Maybe we can knock off some items here and there. And we are also running the Rocky Helmet with the Iron Barb. So that does like 22% damage, I believe, if I calculated it correctly, because Rocky Helmet does 1/6 damage, and then Iron Barbs does 1/12, I believe. I could be a little off, but I believe it does about 22% damage each time it's hit with a physical attack. So that is a lot of chip damage coming off. If we can switch this into a U-turn from that Crobat or that Mienshao, those Pokemon are going to take a lot of damage. And if Mienshao isn't Regenerator, it's not going to want that. Now, we also have our next Pokemon here, which is Hitmontop. And Hitmontop is going to be a wall along with Ferrothorn. They are running the same EV spread. And basically this week what I'm doing, I'm running 2 defensive cores. So I got a defensive core, I got a special defensive core. With the defensive core, because Crobat gets Heat Wave, and because it can hit Hitmontop with Brave Bird pretty hard, I'm going to have to switch back and forth between them and try to predict what Crobat's going to go for. Maybe we can even scout for the Heat Wave, and if he doesn't have it for some reason, then we'll be safe and we know we can always go into Ferrothorn. But we don't know that. I am planning for Heat Wave. I think that's the smart move to have on Crobat, so I definitely think he'll have it. We've got Brick Break, because like I said, if Meowstic does come, it's going to have the dual screens. I don't think it's coming, but if it does, I do need to be prepared. I wanted to run Close Combat, but Rapid Spin does not get rid of screens, so I needed Brick Break. Stone Edge is there for coverage, basically. So I was running Fake Out, and I was planning to kind of lead with Hitmontop. I'm not sure if I will. I might lead with Latias or something else, but I wanted to hit Fake Out on whatever he brought in first. Maybe we can scout to see if Crobat has Inner Focus, because if it has Inner Focus, we know it doesn't have Infiltrator, and Infiltrator hits 3 screens, and I'm running Reflect on Latias. So all that information would be important there, but unfortunately, if I run Fake Out, then I have no way to hit Dhelmise at all, and that's a problem. I would like to be able to, you know, catch Dhelmise on a switch-in and get it with a Stone Edge. We can also get Crobat with a switch-in with a Stone Edge, so we're running Stone Edge basically just for some coverage. That way we can hit Dhelmise, and if we can predict a Crobat switch-in. We are also running Protect. I think I said that just for, you know, scouting. We've got also for recovery, of course, because we got leftovers. And we are running Rapid Spin to get rid of his rocks. We don't really want his rocks on our side of the field to wear us down. I do have Wish on Latias, but I still want to be able to get rid of those rocks. I don't want them wearing us down little by little. And like I said, if Dhelmise wants to switch in, it can. I'm just going to hit it with Stone Edge. And surprisingly, Stone Edge does about 25% damage. So we could potentially get 2 off on Dhelmise while it's in there. Do 50% damage, and that's a lot of damage, because it's not going to want to take that damage. It's going to need to be on the field to go ahead and spin block and rapid spin itself, so he's going to want to keep it alive as long as possible. But anyways, guys, that's the team this week. Hope you enjoyed the team builder. I had a lot of fun building this. Hopefully the battle will be just as fun. Hopefully I can get the Rakuten to work. But I'll see you guys tomorrow when the battle goes live. Peace out, and I'll see you then.